Hi, I'm Randy Donley with the Donley Auctions Hour. We're on every Saturday on WLS 890 AM. Now, we're normally on at 7 p.m., so we do get bumped from time to time for sports, and we'll be on at 5, but always look for us around that 7 p.m. hour. So, I'm here today with Mike Donley, and we're going to be talking about the auction experience. Now, people call us all the time for auctions. They want to sell their merchandise, and how do we go about it? So we've decided, to be on the air to explain to you in broad terms how to go about selling a single antique or a complete collection at auction. And Mike, I have to say, it's pretty easy, isn't it?
Oh, we make it super easy. The first thing you got to understand is, what is it worth? Well, how could you possibly guess what it's worth? You may get a general idea sometimes, but even we're surprised on what things bring, as experienced as we are, the prices things bring sometimes.
It is always so surprising, ladies and gentlemen, the prices that we achieve at auction. And if you don't do it that way, you're playing the best guessing game. If you go to sell your antiques, what is it worth? Whereas Donley Auctions is online. We do run live auctions in conjunction with our online experience. So we're online all over the world. And we have buyers from all over the world competitively bidding on what you have for sale through us. So first thing you need to do is call us. That's the easiest thing. Call us at 815-923-7000. Very simple. And we'll walk you through what we're about to tell you right now. Now, normally, if you have items for sale and you make that call, you're going to be told, simply send us photographs, send them to consign at DonleyAuctions.com, and Donley is spelled D-O-N-L-E-Y, auctions with an S, plural, DonleyAuctions.com. So you send us photographs, and you'll get a call from one of us right away, Mike or Randy or one of our experts, and we will give you a pre-auction estimate. No charge for any of this, by the way. And in most cases, you can either bring the items to us or we will go pick them up. And we try to, again, make this very, very easy for you. We have a contract that you signed, basically proving that you have the right to sell these items. And then we'll be charging you a commission, and it's a percentage of the amount that we sell it for that we'll agree with you in advance what that commission is going to be. After we sell the items, it's simply 30 days after the auction that we're paying you. And using our expression, we make it fit in your wallet. So a very simple process to sell at Donley Auctions. Some of the items that we're looking for, Mike, are what?
Oh, it's all over the board. Boy, for some of our upcoming auctions, we need muscle cars right now. They've been selling. We just had an auction 2 weeks ago that there was a car in there. The gentleman, he gave us the price of the Corvette. He had hoped to get a certain price of it. I think we achieved his goal by 20% over what he was hoping to get out of it.
That is a fact. We were told what he'd like to get for it. We exceeded that by quite a bit. And that's the beauty of an auction. That's the beauty of an auction. Who knows what things will go for? It only takes two bidders bidding competitively against each other to achieve some very, very great things. But we see this happen all the time, Mike. I mean, some examples. A woman walked in with a tackle box of fishing gear. And I just couldn't believe we were even taking it. But one of my experts had looked in the tackle box and said, wait a minute, I see a good knife, just an old fishing knife that ended up bringing $10,000.
Correct, and that's why you have to check these things out, because even you or I looked at that and said, I wouldn't, if I saw that on a table somewhere for $5, I wouldn't have bought it.
Right. But, that's why we have experts working with us. I mean, we have a full staff here of people who have specialties. In fact, in our next segment, we're going to have Ryan Boyle on with us, who specializes in toys and coins and sports memorabilia. He's a trifecta. He does all three items. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any of these items, call us this week, because we've got an auction coming up in October. We can use your toys. We can use your coins, especially. We're doing so well with coins. We'll talk about that more. I know Mike wants to jump in there and say a few things, but let's wait for Ryan on that. And sports memorabilia. Holy smokes, do we have a sports auction coming up for you? Again, we'll talk about that in the next segment.
Remember that old box of sports cards? It's more than a memory, it could be a treasure. Hi, I'm Ryan with Donley Auctions, and I am looking for your sports memorabilia, cards, and other collectibles. Turn your collection into cash. Call me today at 815-923-7000.
Donley Auctions, Donley, auctions with an S, always looking for quality consignments.
815-923-7000.
That's 815-923-7000.
Give me a call today.
We've been on 890 now for several weeks, and we have not mentioned at all that we do have a real estate division. We'll have Shauna Donley on in probably next week already, talking about the fact that, yes, we do sell real estate. And, people are very concerned, oh, wait a minute, we don't want to auction our house. Well, no, Shauna is a licensed realtor, and we list houses and buildings, property all over the Chicago and suburbs. So if you don't have a realtor or somebody to help you sell your house, Shauna Donley will be on next week to talk to you all about how to get started with us. Or you can do that anytime by going to DonleyAuctions.com and just go to our real estate tab. There, it's on there, the real estate division, the Donley Group. So, Mike, what else you got today?
Well, coming up just right around the corner is our September 20th guns and military auction, and we're still taking a few consignments for that. So, if you have
September 20th, yeah.
For September 20th. So, if you have any guns or military items, we are still taking consignments for that. So, anything you might have.
And I keep telling everybody, military relics are screaming red hot right now as far as value. Holy smokes. German and Japanese items have always been collectible ever since World War II because, of course, they were captured during battle, and they have a stigma about them as being very collectible. But for years and years and years, nobody wanted the American uniforms. Right. Nobody wanted the American helmets and everything because everybody felt it was too plentiful. Mm-hmm. Everything came home with the veterans. So, for lack of better words, at one point in time, everybody had it. It was even being sold in our surplus stores.
Right, yeah. We used to sell it surplus here. Buy helmets by the crateful.
We'll come back to that. I want to have Mike tell us some stories about the old Stark's warehouse building. But my point in bringing this up is American uniforms right now are very, very expensive. Do not just sell off or send them off to a resale shop or what have you. American uniforms from World War II are very valuable or can be very valuable. And even the helmets that used to go for $5 or $10 can now be worth $10,000. They can be worth $15,000. I mean, it's crazy the prices of how high World War II American uniforms have gotten.
And that's why we tell you have to send it to auction because you can't possibly know what something's worth. Why would one helmet bring $50 and one helmet's going to bring $10,000? Those are the things we can point out to you because we know. We've learned this through 50 years of experience handling these items.
And in 50 years of experience goes all the way back to what I just said, Stark's warehouse in where was that?
Well, there was actually two. They were both on Harlem Avenue. One was in Summit, I think, at about 45th and Harlem South, and then there was one on North Harlem Avenue.
So a lot of you probably remember Stark's Warehouse, but one of my favorite stories, I know you've come up with one now too. One of my favorite stories is going into Stark's Warehouse as a young kid, probably 8th grade or so.
This was back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Early to mid 60s. Yeah.
In the 60s. Now remember, World War II is only 20 years old at the most at this point in time. And this stuff was just old, used surplus. But there's a whole table full of World War II flight jackets, aviator, the brown leather flight jackets. And there was a woman standing there that worked for the Starks, and she had a seam ripper. And she was taking the insignia off of the jackets, and they were selling the jackets and the insignia separately. Now, I think the jackets were $8 and the insignia, with $2-3 a patch or what have you. But now a lot of these flight jackets bring as much as $5,000 when not destroyed with a seam ripper. These old World War II surplus flight jackets can bring really good money. We just recently sold what I would refer to as a rat. It was all dried out, all brittle, and most people probably would have thrown this jacket away because it looked terrible. But this jacket sold for over $1,000 in horrible condition. So again, don't second guess what you have. Give us a call at 815-923-7000 or send us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. That's DONLEY.
So after the Guns and Military auction in September, we're right up also against our Fall Classic, which is October 23rd through 25th. And that's one of our biggest auctions of the year, handling coin-op, automobiles, architecture. We're looking for bars, big saloon bars, anything architectural, leaded glass windows, big chandeliers. The bigger the better for chandeliers, anything that you might have.
Just now, folks, you don't know this, but we just had to take a break on the show for a couple minutes because while we were producing this show right now, we get a knock on the office door. Somebody's here to see us, and a gentleman just came in and consigned to us for October, nonetheless, his Model T Ford and a collection of steam engines and one-cylinder gas engines. But more importantly, one of the rarest engines is the very first diesel hit and miss. Very, very rare engine. So you just never know what's walking in the door. And along with that, he shows me an original glass plate negative of a steam engine, a train, a big steam engine train with the engineer standing in front of it. And he not only has this glass plate negative photograph, but he also has the engineer's gold pocket watch.
Wow.
And it's named on the back. I mean, it's just a great piece of railroad memorabilia that, again, this is going to be for sale, folks, in October.
It's so important that all those pieces stay together, and that's the story of an item, and that's what helps us promote it when there's so many things on there.
Well, provenance is always important. So if you have photos that go along with something, if you have letters that go along with something, coming up in our military auction, I think we mentioned this last week, in our military auction, which is coming up in September, we do have World War memorabilia that is accompanied by letters that the GI actually wrote and sent home. As he sent his war trophies or war souvenirs home, he wrote about them in the letter. Well, that provenance makes those items worth so much more.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Randy Donley from Donley Auctions, and I'm currently looking for old guns and military items for upcoming auctions. Old helmets, uniforms, swords, flags, and daggers from any wars. If you have old Japanese samurai type swords, call me because you could be sitting on a fortune.
But you won't know till you give us a call at 815-923-7000 or send us photos at consign, C-O-N-S-I-G-N, at donleyauctions.com. That's D-O-N-L-E-Y, auctions with an S.com.
Okay, Mike, let's let everybody out there know some of the items that we're looking for. Because, folks, if you have a single item or a large collection of antiques that either you or a relative has collected up and you need to liquidate, we are the one-stop shop for you. We can do it all and get top dollar for you, and my old catchphrase, we'll make it fit in your wallet. But, Mike, what are some of the items we're looking for?
Well, I'm going to go down a list here. We have jukeboxes, whether they're running or not. If they're in your garage, in your basement, call us.
Well, you mentioned jukeboxes, Mike, but advertising. Wow. Advertising sold so well at our last sale. And, folks, we're talking about, it can be a small little piece of advertising or huge signs. I mean, big signs that were on the fronts of buildings, or big gas and oil signs like a gas station like Citgo, Sinclair, Pure Oil, all these big old signs that gas stations used to have. They sell for huge money. I mean, we had signs selling in the tens of thousands of dollars, and it's not all that rare that a sign can hit 50,000.
Right, yeah.
On up.
Even if it's still on the building, we'll take it down.
Absolutely, absolutely. So signs is something we're always looking for, and advertising of all kinds. But anything breweriana, and by that we mean old taverns, old saloon items. Always looking for bars and back bars. We can't push that enough.
Beer signs, even the beer signs from the 60s and 70s are bringing big money now.
You know, I was surprised at that, Mike, how well the more, in our world, the more modern signs, and ladies and gentlemen, you might hear us talking about stuff from the 60s and we're calling it modern. You're going, what, are you guys smoking dope or something? No. The reality is this. I mean, in collecting world, there's different segments of time. Mike and I have been at this so long that we're still dealing in a lot of items that are all turn of the century, 1890, 1900, 1910. But for us in our world, 1960s, although very collectible and a lot of money, to us, we refer to that as modern. And, of course, items in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, which still have value. One would think, well, they're not interested. They only collect really old, really vintage. That's not the case. We will deal in anything that brings money.
Yeah, and so send us pictures of your basements or man caves, and we'll let you know what we think we can get for it.
Absolutely. Always the best way is consign at donleyauctions.com, or just call us, 815-923-7000, and we'll walk you through the steps of how we can sell your items for you. Now, I do want to thank everybody for the amount of calls that we're getting. It is surprising because for us, 890 is a new station for us. We've been on other radio stations before, so 890 is kind of an experiment. We need to know whether this is working. The only way we know is by your calls. And we just got a call this weekend from a gentleman that had some very good military relics, and he talked to John. And in fact, he's coming out today.
Today he'll be here.
He's coming out today to bring these items out to us. So you can bring items out, and or we'll come out by you also. We'll talk more about that because we have Ryan Boyle, our coin expert, coming on the next segment. And with coins, many times coin collections are so big that we go out to the homes to evaluate and make sure first this is something you want to do. Here's what we believe we can get for you. Does it make sense for you? And there's no charge for any of that. So, but we will come to your home to pick items up also. Firearms and military is always big for us. So guns, a single gun, a complete collection, no issues, no problems.
No, ladies, if you've recently lost a loved one and they had a gun collection, call us, because we can do for you what very few people can, and that's get you top dollar for your guns. We do all the paperwork. They're sold legally, and we fight for every dollar on it, because the only way we make money is to make you money. So you're not getting wholesale for your guns. You're getting them as close to retail as we possibly can for you.
Now, one thing I do want to say, and folks, I'm not out here saying this is always the case, but we have seen this happen more than once, and that is, sadly, we have found out that sometimes your husband's friends were your husband's friends, but not necessarily your friends. We have heard some sad stories where somebody passes away, the gentleman's friends come over and buy up all the guns, and when you hear the prices, it's really sad, because they did not take care of the widow. They took care of themselves, and the widows don't know.
No, they have no idea what a firearm may be worth, or what her husband has spent on it. I mean, one gun looks the same as the other to them, and it could be the difference between $50 or $5,000. I mean, it is, unless you know what you're doing with the value of guns, you could be leaving a fortune on the table.
And of course, there's laws. How do you sell guns legally and protect yourself that you're doing it the right way? And we have an FFL, which is a federal firearms license. Now, what that means is when you bring to us or have us come pick up your guns, we fill out the serial numbers and give you a receipt of all the guns, at which time you will be complying with every state and federal law by turning your firearms, handguns, rifles, shotguns, turning them over to an FFL, to us as an auction house. We will protect you and do all of these things legally. Very, very important that you do these things legally, that nothing ever comes back to you and guns don't get into the wrong hands. Now, that's not a scare tactic that we're trying to scare you into doing business with us. No, we just want to make sure that you understand there's a right way and a wrong way to sell firearms. And if you have any questions about what you're doing and just want some advice, call us, 815-923-7000. My name is Randy Donley. Ask for me. I'm always happy to walk you through all the right ways to get things done. But since we're talking about firearms, I would really like to send a complimentary note out to the ATF, which is the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division of our government, who is in charge of firearms. They came out to Donley Auctions this last week to do what they refer to as an audit. ATF comes and they make sure that we are doing things legally, we are doing things correctly, and the ATF came and did an audit. We're very pleased having had our audit. Everything went very well. But Mike, wouldn't you say so many times you hear people complaining about the ATF?
Well, they have a bad rep, yeah. They really do. They're trying to do their job, and which is
Exactly.
keeping the guns out of the hands of criminals. I mean,
That's their job.
what it's all about. Most of those guys are all pro-gun. I mean, they don't want to see things get destroyed and such. But they have to do their job.
We just had the ATF out here, and ladies and gentlemen, you can really be proud of the Chicago area ATF agents. I certainly am. what a pleasant experience was. I just want to once again thank the ATF for what they do. It's a very hard job. And again, our experience with the ATF this week was just A++.
Yes.
Our website, of course, is donleyauctions.com. You know, so many times people say, wow, on the radio, we hear what you're saying, but we can't picture what you're saying. And one thing you can do is go along right now to donleyauctions.com and go to our website. You can see what we do, how we do it, and a lot of the things we talk about, you can actually kind of follow along with us. We'd like to hear from you and tell us what you'd like us to talk about on the show. If you've got topics or collections or anything you want us to talk about, we're happy to do that. But for now, stay tuned. We've got a station break, and we will be back right after the break on WLS 890 AM with the Donley Auctions Hour. During this break, visit our website at donleyauctions.com. That's DONLEY, auctions.com.
Do you have a collection of coins gathering dust? Hi, I'm Susan with Donley Auctions, and we're looking for gold and silver. Let's turn your collection into cash. Call us today at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions, always looking for quality consignments.
Hi, I'm Randy Donley with the Donley Auctions Hour, and we're back talking about how to consign items that you might have for auction. Or DonleyAuctions.com. If you go to the website, you can see more of what we do. I'm here with Ryan Boyle, but what I wanted to do is finish going over the list that Mike and I did not finish in the last segment. You know, we talked about items that we're still looking for, and that would be, you know, muscle cars, motorcycles, advertising, arcade games. In arcade games, we need loads of pinball machines. Pinball machines sell extremely well. If you've got one item or you've got 100 pinball machines, we can sell them all for you. We need vintage jukeboxes. We need neon signs. We need what's referred to as Petroliana, antique phonograph collections, antique architecture. We'll buy huge chandeliers out of buildings and so much more. We have a huge antique watch collection coming up with all gold cases. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes, but I wanted to remind everybody one more time that next week, Shauna Donley will be with us, who is in charge of our real estate division, because all the times we've done our show so far, we really haven't talked about what we do with real estate as of yet. So that's my long and short before I get to talk with Ryan now. Thanks for coming in, Ryan, today.
No, thanks for having me.
You know, Ryan, I tell everybody all the time, we're so blessed to have really good experts. But I refer to you all the time as the trifecta here at Donley because you really do know three very important topics extremely well. I'd like to start with coins.
Cool.
So coins, we have to remind everybody out there why people would call Donley Auctions for coins when there's so many commercials on the radio now. Come to this coin shop, come to that coin shop. Oh, come to the coin shop. Oh, so we're selling for scrap. You know, blah, blah, blah. Why sell at auction instead of selling outright?
To a certain degree, a lot of coins you are effectively dealing with, a commodity at a certain level. But what I offer is I know what's called as better dates, key dates, stuff that you look for that adds value, and other nuances. For instance, with, like a peace dollar. A
peace dollar. Now, you got to remember, a lot of people out there, they're listening for the first time. They might not even know what a peace dollar means. That's an old silver dollar, from the 1920s?
From 1921 to 1934 is minted. 1921, they had both the Morgan and the piece.
Morgan being
the predecessor.
The previous silver dollar before 1921.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so with any run of coins, condition is going to affect its value. So it's very easy to go through a roll of piece dollars and just say, okay, yeah, you got $30 at silver, I'll pay you $30. But if they're BU or a mint state, and you know that, they can go from $30 to thousands of dollars very quickly.
So a lot of people, unfortunately, do make the mistake of turning vintage coins in for the scrap value instead of having them checked out
Numismatically, yep, exactly. And that's kind of where I come in, is that I offer, okay, yeah, with the Roosevelt Dime series, there is no key date. You might have a mint state, that might be a little bit better, but generally there's nothing to look for there. But other series of coins, there's lots to look for. Like we had mentioned the Morgan dollars earlier. The most common nuance with Morgan dollars is the mint mark on the back. If it's a Carson City or a CC, it has more value. But in addition to that, it goes a lot deeper than mint marks. It goes to VAMs, which are like errors, planchet stamps. It gets really, really detailed, and those details often equal more money.
You check it out numismatically, so you're checking out numbers, the dates and everything, and advising that it's either worth more in scrap or it's worth more in dates. Okay, but I hear a lot of commercials where people are saying, hey, we're going to check dates for you, we're going to pay you by the date and everything. So that might not be enough of a reason for somebody to sell at auction instead of to a coin store. What would be even a better reason?
The other reason is, as with anything, if I'm determining a value, it's going to behoove me to make a value that helps me. Here,
if you're a coin shop,
if I'm a coin store or whatever I'm buying.
Let's clear that up.
Here, my role is the exact opposite. If the consignor is hoping for $100, I'm hoping for $200. That's my role here. I'm trying to be upfront and honest, and I'm trying to get top dollar. So truly every collection that I take in, I handle and market as if it was my own, with all my knowledge of working at a coin store for 15 years and collecting sports memorabilia for, going on 3 decades now. That's exactly what I offer.
So you have told me time and time again that when you worked for a coin store, your job was to try to buy coins as cheap as you could.
Absolutely.
Because the business is in business to make money. We all understand that.
In fact, I would get bonuses on how low I would buy.
But when people bring the items to an auction house, what we are actually doing is charging a commission.
Yep.
So when we're charging a commission, our job is actually just kind of the opposite. In order for us to make money, we need to make money for our customer.
Exactly.
So we need to get them as high a dollar as we can. We need to get them as much as it can possibly sell for in order for us to make money. The only way we make money is to make money for our customer.
Exactly.
Send photos of your items or collections to consign at DonleyAuctions.com. That's CONSIGN at Donley, DONLEY, auctions with an S.com.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be right back. Do you have a collection of coins gathering dust? Hi, I'm Susan with Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois, and we're looking for quality consignments. We're looking for gold and silver, whether they're graded or non-graded, and anything pre-1964 in half dollars, quarters, dimes, and silver dollars. Let's turn your collection into cash. Call us today at 815-923-7000. That's 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions, always looking for quality consignments. Email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. That's CONSIGN at donleyauctions.com.
This is the Donley Auctions Hour. Give us a call at 815-923-7000. At Donley Auctions, ladies and gentlemen, not only do we have experts like Ryan who can help you out and make these determinations as to how to sell these items, but we also have a crack marketing team that is promoting, and every auction that we do, they've got them all online promoting, advertising, and everything. And here's the beauty. all of our auctions are both online and live, so people can either come to the auction, visit it live, and bid in person, actually touch the items, see the items, and really know what they're buying, or trust our photos and descriptions, which are excellent, by the way, and bid online. But now you have thousands of people competitively bidding on your items, and we're working at getting you the most money. You're not playing what we refer to as the best guessing game, that when you get an offer, is it a good offer? I don't know. We guess and we assume that it could be, but we're not sure.
But I would say that it's a safe assumption if there's several bids on an item and it ends up at a certain level, then that's probably what the market would bear that day.
At any given day, absolutely. So folks, if you have coins that you would like to sell, first, you can get them evaluated by Ryan. We don't charge anything for his evaluations. He can give you his opinions as to what these items are, what they're worth, and what we believe that we can get for you at auction.
Yeah, absolutely.
No charge for that whatsoever. All you have to do is start by calling Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000 or email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. That's DONLEY, auctions with an S.com. And we'll call you back and help you determine what you want to do. And there's no obligation, no charge.
No. And truly, it's one of the things that I really enjoy about my position here is, I think I said this before, but I love to tell someone that they have $1,000 coin. My worst part of my job is telling someone that they don't have $1,000 coin. So I love to look through collections and tell you what I see. And that's the other thing. I'm going to tell you honestly, because it does me no good to promise you the sun and the moon if I can't deliver.
You know, I always refer to it as a lottery ticket. You right now are holding lottery tickets in your hand, and you certainly don't want to throw away a lottery ticket without checking out the numbers. Now, when you go to the store and check out the numbers, in most cases, sadly, you get bad news.
Yeah.
And you might win a little something, but rarely are you hitting that home run. But the point is, it does happen.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with your antiques. Do you have something good? Best way to find out is to contact us, and we can let you know.
Absolutely.
Give us a call at 815-923-7000. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be right back.
Remember that old box of sports cards? It's more than a memory, it could be a treasure. Hi, I'm Ryan with Donley Auctions, and I am looking for your sports memorabilia, cards, and other collectibles. Turn your collection into cash. Call me today at 815-923-7000.
Donley Auctions, DONLEY, auctions with an S, always looking for quality consignments.
815-923-7000.
And that's 815-923-7000.
Give me a call today.
So, Ryan, I will tell everybody out there, if you've got questions about coins and everything, you can contact us. We'll continue to tell you how to do that. But Ryan, I refer to always as my trifecta because he's an expert in 3 different items. Let's talk next a little bit about toys.
Okay.
What have we got coming up in toys? Our next toy auction is in October.
October, I'll have a day of my type of material, which will be toys, jewelry, coins, and I will have a run of sports memorabilia. As far as toys, I have a nice collection. I have from American Flyer and Lionel trains, HO scale trains. I was just describing a couple brass HO railway cars before I came to the show.
It always surprises me how well all brass engines and cars do. There was a whole series of those made by Lionel, and that the brass items really.
Brass always stands out. Brass
Wow.
always stands out. And honestly, when I get photos and I see brass, that's what I like to see. There's certain things that I want to see, and there's certain things that I'm like, with toys, condition, as with everything, condition is everything.
New in box is always
is huge.
great.
Yeah. And even just having the box, that helps. If you don't have the box and it's well worn and dirty, it's not material that I can really do justice by the consigner or by us. So,
I want to tell you a quick box story real fast. This is kind of crazy, but years ago, before I owned an auction company, I was always a collector. We owned the Wild West town here in Union, Illinois. We had a museum and everything. So I've always been a collector of things, but I bought a collection of Heartland horses and characters from a woman who meticulously took care of them, had the original boxes and everything, and I was so happy to get these toys. And I took the statues out and was photographing them, and the next day I come by and I'm looking for the boxes. Where are the boxes? All the boxes are gone. And one of the boys that was working for me at the time, I said, "What happened to all the boxes for the horses?" And he says, "Oh, they were old. I threw them away."
Oh, no.
And I go, No. You didn't really. I ran to the dumpster, which, by my best luck, always was all empty. And the boxes were gone. And I have to say, the toys were probably worth less than half. Less than half. By not having the boxes with them. It was just crazy. So, folks, I don't care how bad a box is, how ripped up, how stained. It doesn't matter. Even rough condition boxes make a big difference. Do not throw them away.
No, it's a huge part of the presentation, and when you're trying to sell anything, the more parts that you have, the more originality you have to offer, the better it's going to do. And boxes are a huge part of that. So certainly, as what Randy's saying, keep the boxes, don't throw them away, and obviously keep them in good condition too. Presentation is key.
Years ago also I had a toy doll, which was a Shirley Temple doll. Shirley Temple was an old-time movie star, but they made dolls of her. When she was a young girl, she was quite a famous star at the time. And so a woman brings to me her Shirley Temple doll that she received years and years ago as a Christmas present and everything. And she had a picture of herself as a little girl dressed as Shirley Temple with her Shirley Temple doll. And that little extra bit of provenance made that doll so much more valuable, and the whole history of it and everything. So even with toys, provenance is important. Not only the boxes, but the provenance and the story that goes behind it. People love all that.
That always adds to, no matter what the subject is, if you can tell the backstory, it's always going to add value.
Check out our website at donleyauctions.com. That's DONLEY auctions with an S.com. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Randy Donley from Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois, and I'm currently looking for old signs of any kind, old gasoline advertising, gas pumps, old soda pop and beer signs, outdoor neon and porcelain signs. You'd be surprised at how much some of these signs are worth.
But you won't know how much we can sell them for until you send us photos at consign@donleyauctions.com, DONLEY auctions with an S.com, or give us a call at 815-923-7000.
If you don't mind, I'd like to go into
Sure.
the sports memorabilia. I'm dying to announce
Oh,
this.
okay. He couldn't wait to get the sports
I'm
memorabilia.
shopping at the bit.
Gee, Can you tell what his favorite of the three is? Well, you know what? I'm going to hold you off there just 1 minute because I want to say this. Along with coins, along with toys, you also do have jewelry coming up because of precious metals fits right in there. But you've got a lot of jewelry coming up in October also.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to put that in there.
And it's not too late to add a little bit. So if you certainly have anything, certainly reach out. I'm always looking for jewelry. I'm always looking for coins. Randy mentioned that we have a really high-end collection of beautiful gold pocket watches. We're going to start having a run of them in October.
In October,
and
absolutely.
then I think we're going to have another run of them in the Winter Classic.
Okay, so all you need to do is call us at 815-923-7000 or send photos to consign at DonleyAuctions.com. That's DONLEY.com. And having said that, now, Ryan, Ryan, I will let you.
This collection that Donley Auctions has that I'm announcing right now for the first time, I'm giving a little teaser. It is massive. It is one for the ages. This gentleman has a advertising background, sports advertising background. He's been collecting for 50 years, and some people collect, like, I have some good sports cards. I'm not nearly on the level as this gentleman. Just to give you an idea of the material that we will be having, in the 90s, there was a commercial with Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, and it was a Jam commercial. There's 2 or 3 of these balls that are signed by Michael Jackson known to exist. We will have one of them at our auction. And right now, we're planning on having it after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. I don't have a precise date yet and time, but we're just kind of ironing it all out right now. I have a run of Hall of Fame busts. There's basically 10 of them known to exist, and one of them is in Cooperstown. This is actually the last set. One of the busts is of Jackie Robinson, and one of the photos that we have is of him with Jackie's wife taking a photo with the bust.
Oh, isn't that cool?
To my knowledge, there's 8 to 10 of these busts known to exist, and then they destroyed the mold after. And this was the last run, and we can notarize that.
So you've got one man's collection of just the best of the best.
The best of the best. Let me also tell you, from being in this area, Notre Dame fans, Irish fans, football fans, he has one of the best Rudy Rudiger collection. I couldn't tell you how you'd even beat it. In the movie, he finally gets to play one play, and then they carry him off. We actually have the actual protective headgear that he wore during the famous Notre Dame Georgia Tech game in 1975 that inspired the movie. So it's the real deal.
But this isn't a movie prop.
No,
this isn't something that we saw in the movie. This was the real deal that actually took place.
Yep,
at Notre Dame.
A historical item. I'll tell you. I mean, everyone loves Rudy, especially around here in the Midwest. It is such a great story. It's a truly American story. I mean, you never accept no for an answer. I love that story. Being Irish, I have to love it. I've always wanted to go to Notre Dame, too, so I can identify with his plight. But conversely, it's just a great story.
Wow. Wow. That is so cool. You talk about provenance, huh?
I could go on and on and on. I mean, there's hundreds of items that are like this, and he has the whole backstory.
But now, Ryan, you're talking about all the items we already have for sale. That might lead somebody to believe we don't need any more.
Oh, no. So October, I will be doing a run of sports memorabilia that I'm adding to right now, so I'm still taking consignments for that. But I'm always looking for quality consignments, whether it be sports memorabilia, coins, cards, whatever it is.
And I keep saying this, ladies and gentlemen, we tell you about things that we have in our auctions and everything. I need you to call us and be a story topper. I say this all the time. I need you to call me and say, Randy, that was a nice story you told us, but I've got something better. I have this, I have that, because we're always looking for the next great things. You talked last week, I think, about a collection of sports cards that you had, that there's one of every sports card of what?
Of the Cubs. It's basically every Cubs team from 1952 to present. It's 91% complete. Each year, there's 20 players, there's 20 cards. All of them are stamped and graded by PSA, and It's up to date where you would only need to source, I think, about 18 cards to complete the collection to have 100%. So truly, if you are a Cubs fan and you think you're the #1 Cubs fan, this is your opportunity.
Because it's going to be sold as one lot.
Oh, yeah. There's no way that's getting broken up.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Folks, the opportunity to buy a collection like this in one group is unheard of. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
I'll tell you, this auction is going to be one for the ages. People are going to be wanting to watch this.
And it's one you're going to want to get your items in. The best way to sell great items is to associate with other great items. And so if you've got single items or a collection, call us at 815-923-7000. Consign to us at consign@donleyauctions.com. We've got more auctions coming up that we want to talk to you about. We've got September 20th, Guns and Military. We've got October 23rd and 25th, which is our Fall Classic, which is just great items of any type. November, we've got Native American and Old West items. More sports after Thanksgiving. We've got February 7th, the D-Day collection, World War II. Just so many items coming up.
Lots to look forward to, lots to keep your eyes open for.
And remember, go to our webpage and look for our real estate section. If you have a house for sale, if you've got property for sale, anything in the Chicago suburbs, Shauna Donley can really help you. She's the head of the Donley Group, which is our real estate division. Tune in with us always on Saturday. I would have to say that's it for now. Next week we'll be on Saturday at 7 o'clock, WLS 890 AM. Don't miss our show. So for now,
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Randy Donley, and we'll see you at the auction.